Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I trust that you are all keeping well and safe. If it's your first time joining me, a huge welcome to you. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Now for the next course of the 3 videos that I'll be uploading on my channel, I'll be talking about a mental breakthrough. This is more of a testimony than it is a medical prescription for anyone. So I would like to just, as a disclaimer, please don't take this video as a prescription. Please do seek professional help. And please do speak to people that you know, that you are close to, people that you trust that can help you out if you relate to anything that I'm about to talk about. I do believe that depression is something that we can definitely overcome, and I'll show you what I've been doing recently to make sure that I overcome this thing. I am not a victim of depression, but as the Bible tells me, which is the word of God, I am more than a conqueror, and I live that every single day. And not saying that it is easier every single day, but it gets better every single day, knowing who I am and knowing the God who is with me, and the people that are around me and that support me. But most importantly was for me knowing what it is that I was faced with, what the symptoms are, what the signs are, so that I could better take care of myself. Okay, so according to the World Health Organization, depression is the leading cause of ill health and disability. Women are twice more likely to suffer from it than men. Depression interferes with the ability to work, to sleep, to eat, and to enjoy pleasurable activities. And these occur as disabling episodes when you are unable to work as you used to work, your sleep pattern is disturbed, the same as your eating pattern is disturbed, and some of the things that you used to enjoy, you don't enjoy any longer. These episodes can occur once, twice, or several times in a lifetime. Now, research shows that 20% of population in South Africa will develop a depressive disorder during the course of their lives, and nearly 2/3 do not get the help that they require. So depression is known as a silent killer, and it affects your mood, it affects your mind, it affects your body, and it affects your behavior. Yeah. So that's what I found depression to be. So yes, let me get straight into the symptoms. So the symptoms, according to research, show that depression, not everyone who will hear these symptoms and relate to some of them. Not everyone will be diagnosed with depression, or not everyone will have depression, because it differs from a person to the other. So not everyone will experience all of these symptoms. Some will experience a few, some many. It differs per individual. So the symptoms of depression are when you are persistently sad, when you are anxious, or you are in a state of feeling emptiness. You just feel this empty mood consistently. It's when you're experiencing loss of interest in things that once interested you, or just loss of interest basically in a lot of stuff. Is when you experience loss of pleasure in hobbies you once were interested in, and loss of pleasure in activities that you once enjoyed. It is the feeling of hopelessness and pessimism. It is the feeling of guilt, worthlessness, helplessness, and self-reproach. It's when you experience insomnia, early morning awakenings, and oversleeping, which is different from the pattern or your sleeping pattern. Is when you have an appetite, and that appetite could be you experiencing weight gain or weight loss depending on your appetite. one of the other symptoms also is decreased energy, fatigue, and feeling run down without doing a lot of stuff. Actually, you could just wake up and just feel, fatigued. It's the increase of alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and smoking. So you're drinking more than you usually would. You are smoking more than what you usually would, and the thoughts of death, suicide, and suicidal attempts. If you watched my earlier video that I had uploaded earlier called my 5 daily morning routines, you would notice that I had a routine going every single morning that starts the night before. So I had a pattern that I had going on, and it had me excited and looking forward to the next day, the day before, because I'd be planning my day the day before. So when we went into lockdown in South Africa, I was okay the first couple of weeks, but then I started noticing a behavior change, a mood change, eating change, just a pattern change in my life, where I would wake up sad. My eating pattern would change, where I would start snacking a lot instead of like eating fruits and vegetables and healthy meals as I usually do. I would sleep irregular times, regular hours. It's either I would sleep too much or sleep less. My moods would change. I would either be snappy, or I would just be extremely sad, or I have feelings of guilt, feelings of being anxious about the future, about the day, about my plans, about my age, about a lot of stuff. I was just anxious about a lot of stuff, and I was feeling so empty. I felt hopeless and helpless, and I just came to a point where I was like, whoa, something is not right. In the beginning, I thought it was stress, because like I said, my pattern had changed. So I thought, maybe it's stress. But then I started noticing that I was persistently sad. I was in a persistent empty mood. I was in a persistent state of feeling helpless and hopeless and feeling guilty and being anxious. And it got to a point where I was just so emotional. I'd cry and I didn't even understand why I was crying, but I was so sad. I just had this heaviness around me and I didn't know how to shake it off. I couldn't pray. I wasn't in touch with my family members, my siblings, with my friends, and I wasn't even, that human interaction, it means a lot to a person. We're grateful for, having tools virtually to, communicate with our loved ones, but that human interaction was definitely needed. And, not having it as much as I did just, caused more of what I went through. And once I realized that this is not stress, because it was so persistent, and no matter how much I tried to shake it off on my own, it just seemed like it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mustered the courage to speak to a loved one of mine, and I opened the conversation by saying, how do you know you're depressed? Like, how do you know you are depressed? So that saw me sitting down with my loved one and having a conversation about it and looking at the symptoms, and actually I related to a lot of these symptoms. So I had a conversation, and just knowing just putting a name to what it is that I was experiencing or going through made me feel even more nervous and more anxious, because I thought I would never go through something like this, because I'm a strong person. I believe I'm strong for others. I'm always there for others. So when this was happening to me, I was just like, I'm not saying I'm immune to a lot of stuff. It's just that I was not. I didn't think I would go through it. So I then went to South South African Depression and Anxiety Group. I went to their website, which wasn't easy because that meant that I had to accept that something is wrong with me and to seek help. And some of the times that's not easy, to accept that there's something wrong with you and to seek help, because you don't know how people will perceive you, you don't know how people will receive you, you don't know how the person on the other end of the line, will talk to you, because you're at a fragile stage. So a call was scheduled. I was so nervous. I remember I was so nervous just even taking this call. I just wanted to postpone it for another time. Maybe once the lockdown has been lifted, but it was a very urgent matter and I could not neglect it any further. So I accepted the call, and I had an awesome, wonderful lady at the end of the line just talking to me. She was calm, she was patient. She didn't rush me. She didn't go on some "what is wrong with you" or get snappy with me, but she was very patient and she was very calm. And the first thing that she said to me was, tell me what's going on, and I told her what was going on before the lockdown, during the early weeks of lockdown, and where I was at that time. Also telling her my family background, my family history, because she started asking questions of, is there anyone in your family that has gone through something similar or has had mental illness before? So I had to go back in my mind and try to remember, and I found that there are actually traces of people that have suffered from mental illness. So we started talking about it. And she walked me through it, and she told me that it is definitely it's something that it is curable. You can overcome it. It just takes you as a person, like I said, knowing that there's something wrong, accepting there's something wrong, and seeking help. So as we were talking, I asked her to. She was recommending professional people that I can go and speak to, and hospitals or clinics where I can go to sit down and get professional help. And after that conversation, actually, I felt so much better. I felt so much better. I think I felt so much better because, number one, I talked about it. Because number one, it's like I put my finger to what was wrong with me. And noticing that there was something wrong and knowing what it is that was wrong and taking it from there. So I'd like to encourage you that depression doesn't have to be a silent killer any longer. We have the power to overcome it. We have the power to be more than conquerors. And it is not just a saying that we are more than conquerors, but it is something that you can conquer and that you can overcome. Like I said, it is not something that it's not a once-off victory. It's an every single day state of being, and making an active decision to be a conqueror and to stay a conqueror. But if you relate to anything that I've spoken about in this video, please do leave a comment about how you or your loved one found out that you were depressed. If it's something that you are going through, please do. You can inbox me. You can leave a comment if you want to talk. If you don't have anyone to talk to, or you just feel more comfortable talking to a stranger, you can definitely leave me an email, leave me a comment, and then we can talk from there. But most definitely, I would encourage you to seek professional help. But just know that you are more than a conqueror. In Christ, you are more than a conqueror, and that you will overcome this thing. Just please make sure that you know what it is and that you speak to people. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.